This is my mom. Why are we here?
We're going to take a bus ride to New York City. It says it's going to take 51 hours, which sounds horrible enough. A trip that I've wanted to do for a couple of years. And you have been the only one dumb enough to say that you will go with me.
So why do you want to go?
Well, I had this idea for this book about an old lady whose husband dies, and he comes to visit her in a vision. And she says, "What should I do now?" And he says, "Do what you've always wanted to do. Go to New York." And she says, "I don't have any money to go to New York." And he says, "Take the bus." And so she takes the bus. She goes to the Jane Hotel, which I have looked up. I still like to go to the Jane Hotel because it has its own story. It has bunk beds, and you don't have a bathroom. You have to go out in the hall. And I think that would be exciting, don't you?
Oh my gosh. Now, who visits her in a dream?
Her husband.
And he
her
doesn't.
Dead husband.
Is he not aware that flights and trains cost the same as the Greyhound?
Not exactly. And I'm looking at air prices. Most of them are like $600.
At the time I booked the Greyhound bus tickets from Salt Lake City to New York, they cost around $225. A coach airfare direct from Salt Lake City to New York was around $150.
No, the airplane is a big pain in the neck. You have to go through, take off your shoes. And just get on the bus and get off the bus. Airlines are impossible.
So because she has to take her shoes off to go through security to get on an airplane, she would rather get on a bus.
I have been on a Greyhound bus. I went from Salt Lake City to Minneapolis, and it was safe. Only once did the bus driver stop in the middle of the night with chains. He had these chains, and he got up and he said, "You people in the back, shut up or you're getting off the bus." And he shook his chains.
Really? He shakes his chains. Fucking I mean, what does he do? What does he do? Get off my bus, bitch. You should try not to use the bathroom.
That I know, yes. And
Okay.
in fact, the bus I went on, the bathroom was broken.
What if the toilet's broken, you get diarrhea?
That would be a problem. I have to tell the bus driver I have to get off and poop. Please, will you stop the bus so I can poop on the side of the road?
Bus driver's gonna pull out his chains and goes, "If you don't
No,
shut
no.
the fuck up, I'm gonna beat you with these chains."
That's what we did. I did that in Vienna, and the bus driver stopped.
What do you mean you did it in Vienna?
In Vienna, we took a trip when we had students abroad, and I had to poop, and they stopped the bus, and I went up in the woods and pooped and came back.
You should expect delays, so plan accordingly. Now, we have looked this up. This is a 51-hour bus ride.
In which case, we are going to be basket cases when we get there. In case we might decide to take a plane in Indianapolis.
Oh, it might happen long before Indianapolis.
Maybe in Denver. I expect that
So
I
you're-
will be exhausted most of the time.
For 70 hours.
Yes.
And you're okay with this.
Yeah.
Okay?
Geez, but when you think about it being 70 hours, 51 hours is like, ugh.
So there's a great Reddit thread. This guy from England wanted to come from the UK, and he wanted to know if the Greyhound was as bad as he thought, and he called it, I believe, a piss-stained prison on wheels.
Well, that is not a very good promotion.
Let me just sum this one up. If you do a Google search for Greyhound bus reviews, TripAdvisor reviews shows up. 1.5 stars, 2,309 reviews. Most of them rated terrible or poor. Here's some quotes for you from around the interwebs. Once a creepy old man tried to pay me so he could touch and lick my feet. Maybe you guys could market that as a service. Bring a shank and keep your eyes on your stuff. Unhinged. I would personally make it my last option, just barely above hitchhiking. All the bus smell really bad, like dead body and toilet together. Horrible, canceled, delayed, stranded, disgusting filth and horror. Hey, can I touch and lick your feet? Fuck off. These are some of the most vitriolic reviews I've ever read in my life. Why does she want to take the bus?
Well, my therapist went to the bus alone from Salt Lake City to San Francisco when she was 14.
Okay.
And her parents gave her popovers to eat on the way there, and she got there, was perfectly safe.
Well, my wife took a bus to California.
Yeah, but she sat in the back.
Yeah. So the guys that jerk off next to women only sit in the back of the bus.
I think that's where they are.
Okay.
Those are the back of the bus guys.
Great. Probably the most terrifying thing I found out about the Greyhound bus was about Tim McLean. So 2008, Tim McLean, he's a carnival barker, step right up. Decides to take the bus home. He's riding Greyhound, Canada. Falls asleep with his headphones on. Guy next to him starts to stab him. Ultimately decapitates him, shows his head to all the rest of the passengers who are now crying and vomiting. I think if it could happen to you in prison, it could happen to you on the bus.
That is an outlier story. How many heads have been cut off on a Greyhound bus out of 16 million passengers that go a year? No, that is not going to happen. I'm not worried.
Okay.
Look at me. These kind of things don't happen to me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, do you have any fears about taking the bus seriously?
Yes, I have arthritis. I'm really kind of afraid that I'll just tie up in a knot. Mm-hmm. But I will bring with me Tylenol.
Okay. Do you have anything stronger? So do you want to know what I'm worried about?
What?
You're going to die on me out there, right?
Oh, I could die. That's right. I could die.
Let me just tell you something. If shit goes down on the bus, she's on her own. She's 81. She's lived a good life. I will be long gone. She strokes out. She's on her own. I don't know how to say that seriously about my own mother.
Okay.
How do you think you're going to feel by Denver?
Oh, my neck's going to hurt, my back's going to hurt, everything's going to hurt.
And you want to still do it because?
Yeah.
Why?
It's an adventure.